your program sheet with you, right? This is important. You don't have to take it out, just to make sure that you have it. It's an important piece of document for you this week, to survive through this week. Okay, because it has got the various activities and agenda items and timings, and importantly the locations as well. You need to know where you should be. Okay. Just to familiarize you with Singapore, many commentators have termed us as a little red dot. We are a country, but a small country. We are a city-state. Okay, we comprise something like 700 square kilometers of land area, and our population in total is only about 5.5 million as of last year. Yeah, 5.54. We're hoping to grow this in the next decade to about 6 million. Okay. And the composition of residents, 3.9 million are residents residing here, and 1.63 are non-residents. It means they come here for work, right? Out of the 3.9 residents, about 3.4 are citizens, and the remaining about 500,000 are permanent residents. So these are foreigners who choose to stay in Singapore on a longer term basis. So they're on work permit passes, they're on employment passes and special passes. Okay, so this is the rough composition. So you form actually this portion. Okay, when you join us here in LaSalle, you're part of this brown shaded area. What about ethnic composition? Predominantly from the Chinese ethnicity, about 3/4. Malay ethnicity, 13%. Indian ethnicity, about 9%. And 3% from the rest of the world. What about here in LaSalle itself, in this college? Okay, within the college, almost 60% are Singapore citizens, locals, Singaporeans, and 37%, that means about 40%, are comprised of this group here, all of you here, international students. You only form the year 1 cohort, the new entry into the college. We have those who have come before you, year 2, who are doing the year 2 and year 3 studies. So all that add together, 37% of our total enrollment comprised of international students. That's a big proportion. It's much bigger than the national profile. Visitors, whereas for LaSalle, 37% are international. Then this SPR here stands for Singapore Permanent Residents. So just now there was a question posed to you by Joanne, how many countries we have. You look around, you look left, look right, look behind you, you can see all different ethnicity, different countries, right? So some of you, I heard from backstage, I heard someone mention what, 10, 20 countries. It's far, far more than that. We are like, in LaSalle here, we're like a global village, or United Nations, if you like. We have 44 nationalities here on campus. 44. Give yourselves a clap. We comprise these 44 countries. So students from as far north as Korea or Japan, they come here. As far west as Canada, in fact, we've got some students in Canada, from Canada. As far south as New Zealand. As far east as Philippines, okay, or the Oceania. So we have all nationalities, almost a large proportion of countries, 44 countries. The countries name listed here are just a sampling of where there are more than a few students. So those with like 1 or 2 students, the countries are not named here. So the list goes on, okay? But these are the majority from these countries. You identify your country here? Okay, so who is La Salle? La Salle is not a person. Okay, La Salle, the name La Salle came from our founder. Our founder, here his picture is shown here. His brother Joseph McNally, and that's where the road is named after, McNally Road, the address of this campus. Brother Joseph is a Catholic brother. He's from the order of the La Salle brothers. That's where the name La Salle came from, the De La Salle brothers. Okay, his Catholic order, a group of brothers, their mission is to educate the underprivileged. They were formed to educate underprivileged. And they are missionaries. They're sent from Ireland. They started in Ireland and they sent all the way out throughout the world to set up schools. So Brother Joseph came to Singapore and he set up, 10th August 2023 to 27 August 2002, that's his, how long he lived here. Okay. He started off at St. Patrick's Schools. If you are not familiar, those of you who have gotten accommodation at the hostel, that's St. Patrick's School. That location there is actually St. Patrick's School. He started off there because he was the principal of St. Patrick's School. That's a secondary school, okay, secondary school. And he started an art program in St. Patrick's School. And that art program grew and grew and grew. And finally today we are La Salle College. Okay, all started from our founder, Brother Joseph. So the ethos of this organization is always one of inclusiveness. That's why we have such a large proportion of international students. Inclusiveness also because of socio-economic backgrounds. Brother has always tried to help the underprivileged, those who don't have a head start in life, who come from poorer backgrounds, things like that. So that's always been the ethos. We're always here to help and become very inclusive. Okay. This is just a brief history of the key milestones of La Salle as an institution. I mentioned earlier, okay, 1984, Brother started the St. Patrick's Art Center and offering diploma education mostly in fine arts, painting, ceramic, sculpture, and a little bit of music. Okay. Then he moved, the enrollment grew, and he moved to a bigger premises in Teluk Kurau the year after that, and renamed it La Salle College of the Arts. In 1992, again, the student population grew, so we had to move to even bigger premises. So moved to a campus along Goodman Road. So you don't know where Goodman Road is? It's somewhere near, you know where the National Stadium is, the sports hub? The one that looked like a spaceship, a dome-shaped stadium. It's quite near that place, Goodman Road. That's where our campus was. In 1993, we got a very kind donor, a sponsor, Singapore Airlines, donated some money to us and enabled Brother to build a bigger campus here, which is here on McNally Road, where you're sitting in this world-class facilities, this world-class theatre and performance center. Okay, and it was then renamed the La Salle SIA College of the Arts. Okay, the college has since been renamed again back to La Salle College of the Arts because the sponsorship has run its course of time already. So since 1993 until now, okay, we thank SIA for that kind initial donation for the college. So in 2007, we moved here in this new campus and we rebranded to La Salle College of the Arts. In 2011, college was awarded the EduTrust award. EduTrust is an accreditation scheme. I think this is important, especially for foreign students. Sometimes when you join an institution outside of your country, you don't know the quality of that institution, and you're afraid that that institution will be something which, set up today and then gone tomorrow. What will happen to your studies or to your degree? So the government actually has regulated all these, especially in Singapore, all private institutions, and we are all regulated under this body or authority called Council for Private Education. And it is this authority that accredits private institutions. Okay, so every institution will have to be assessed and then awarded accreditation according to the quality standards. So we are happy to be accredited EduTrust in 2011. Later on in the afternoon's presentation, I'll give you more details about CPE and how we got this accreditation. In 2015, we became the first local homegrown institution to be awarded the EduTrust Star. So EduTrust is just like the basic entry accreditation, and there are a few levels. Then the highest award given is the EduTrust Star. So in 2015, LaSalle has been awarded the EduTrust Star. We're the only local institution with this award. You can check around with your friends in other institutions. Okay, we don't count the public institutions, the NUS or the NTUs. We're talking about private education institutions. LaSalle is the only one. Okay, so you are in safe hands. Okay, you're in good quality. So that's all the slides I have for you today. Most important is for you to enjoy your stay here at LaSalle, for you to experience after this week. That's where all your academic studies and program begin. So this week is orientation week. Make the best use of this week to get to know your friends from across faculties, across programs, across nationalities. We are all here as one big family. Like I mentioned, we are a global village. If you are staying in the hostel, again, you can make friends in the hostel. The hostel is as I mentioned, in St. Patrick's, but we have a regular shuttle that brings you here to campus. Okay, this is the main campus which you are currently sitting on. We have a satellite campus. If you're not already aware, we have a satellite campus along Newton Road. It's called the Winstead campus. I'll talk more about it in my afternoon's presentation. But for today, this is just a taster. Okay, so we have many layers of orientation and briefings for you, just to make sure you're slowly eased into the whole thing and get adjusted and customized to both the culture here, the weather here, the food here, and the people here. So that's all my message for you for today. I'm very happy to have all of you be part of our LaSalle family. You have any questions for me? You can just ask your questions from where you are. No regrets, right? No regrets being here, right? Later on in the afternoon, I'll cover a little bit more about what's your role as a student. How do you play your part in being part of this big family? Yeah, have an open mind. Yeah, be receptive to new ideas. Push yourselves. That's your lecturers will definitely push yourselves to your best of your ability. Okay, push the boundaries so that you can shine. And many alumni that have come through these portals, 3 years with us, and maybe another 2 more years if you continue on with the BA program. 5 years, 3 years diploma, 2 years degree, 5 years altogether with us. They've come out, very useful citizens of the world, contributing back to Singapore as well as back to your own home country if you choose to go back after your studies. If you choose to stay here with Singapore, I think we welcome you as well to find employment here. Very quiet batch this year. Previous years they are a bit more rowdy. Okay, no further questions? Okay, then I'll leave you to the next speaker who will tell you more about living healthily. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dominic. Aha! So, one briefing down, right? Finish. 2 more to go. Okay, anyway. Well, we're setting up for the next presentation by narcotic officer Idris. Let me ask you some questions. You heard the first presentation, right? So earlier on, I asked you how many countries there are. How many countries are there now? Now you know, right? 44 countries. From which country to which country? What's the first? What's A? Australia? Austria? V? Huh? Vietnam? Venezuela? Right. Okay, now, you also heard that we have got the highest award, which is EduTrust Star, right? Which year did we win it? Which year were we awarded? 2015. You're listening. So, we are star institution. We are star staff. You are star students, isn't it? You're all going to be part of these star students of this star institution. Happy? Dominic says no regrets, right? No regrets, right? So, we wish you all the best throughout all your years here. Now, officer ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Please welcome, put your hands together and welcome.
Thank you. Right, good morning. Good morning, everyone. I understand that you guys are foreign students. The reason why I'm here is essentially to emphasize what I do, what we do actually. Just to self-intro myself. I'm a narcotic officer. Okay, this is my department, Central Narcotics Bureau. It is. Any Americans here? No, right. We are equivalent to the DEA, or if in Thailand, it's in Malaysia. Any Malaysian here? CAD, Cawangan Anti Dada. Okay, Thais, any Thais here? You know where I come from, right? It's similar. Okay, generally we apprehend, we investigate, we arrest drug offenders. Okay, being Singapore being a cosmopolitan, and then a lot of foreigners coming in, so it's the school LaSalle has invited us to just give you a talk, okay, just to make sure that you understand the law in Singapore. Okay, drug law in Singapore is very, very strict, very, very strict. Okay, so just along the way there will be some slides. There will be a bit not nice to see, but if you choose not to see, just close your eyes. Right? It's as simple as that. And after that, we'll open up for some Q&As. I would like to listen from you guys, any questions from you, so that I can express myself. Right? We also, in fact, some of the laws in Singapore, like this drug laws, are not, foreigners are not so sure about it. So, here we go. Right, this is a definition for drugs. Okay, anything that, or any substance which changes person physically or psychologically. So yeah, something is popping up. Never mind. Okay, what I'm talking about is the drug is essentially this. What we do is actually to arrest those people dealing with illicit or controlled drug. Okay, the doctors that gave you, okay, it's all prescribed drugs, that is okay. But this is what we call the illicit, the illicit or illegal drugs. Okay, this is the commonly abused drug in Singapore. Anything familiar? No, huh? Right? All right, all this, heroin, ketamine, meth, nimotazepam, ecstasy, buprenorphine, cannabis, and PS. The one with the danger sign is the one commonly abused